What is forgiveness? That's the central theme in a new play, A Human Being Died That Night, which has just opened here in London. Set during the beginning of post-apartheid South Africa, it explored the natural drama of a situation in which a black African woman psychologist, played by Noma Dumezweni, and a white Afrikaner man who was apartheid's most notorious assassin, played by Matthew Marsh, face each other across a table. It's New South Africa facing Old South Africa, and a test of them both and of the limits of forgiveness and empathy. The future of South Africa, or indeed any society living with the aftermath of such repressive violence. Noma and Matthew are here with me now. Well, tell me first of all, Noma, is this about forgiveness?
From my perspective, ultimately, yes. The woman I'm playing, Pumla, her whole thing is about, she doesn't use the word forgiveness anymore. She uses the word empathy more in her teachings and her research around the world in terms of perpetrators and victims meeting, because the more we empathise with people, the more we're willing to listen to us.
I suppose from that point of view, it is a very important play, both specifically because of the events and universally because this is a theme which could apply almost anywhere.
Well, this is what Matthew always says, which is
fascinating.
fascinating.
I mean, when I read the play, I knew it was a really powerful piece and I wanted to be involved with it. And it's not a documentary. The character I play, Eugene de Kock, is a real person, but I don't feel that I'm trying to do an impersonation of him, because you could take the dialogue between Pumla and Eugene and transpose it to Cambodia or Nazi Germany or Maoist China, anywhere where ideologies make people behave in a way that makes them regard other people who don't share their ideology as somehow less than human.
It's quite important for us today to be able to understand that although people look like a notorious assassin or the real bad guy, life's not quite that simple, is it?
Absolutely, no. I mean, that's another thing that I loved about the play, is this. If you talk to many South Africans, they would say, oh, he was a monster. Yeah. He's just evil and evil. And of course, he isn't just a monster. He is very much a human being, as much as Pumla. Yeah. And it's one of the wonderful things about the play that Pumla, this very wise, intelligent woman, comes to see that you can. It's actually part of the negative process is to see perpetrators like him as somehow, you know, non-human. They're monsters.
And she sees a moment of where is that human? Because I can see something twinkling there, and I need to investigate that. I want to investigate that.
Yeah, because if you fail to understand that, then in a sense you're not making any progress in dealing with these situations that occur in the future.
But you need people like Pumla. You need occasions like the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which was not perfect, to occur, because it is about how can I reach to understand why we are in this place.
Yeah, it's interesting actually, because if you think back to Nelson Mandela and you think back to what he said about truth and reconciliation and forgiveness, and we all say we understand that, in a sense you can't understand that without understanding the other side of the same coin.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Exactly.
Absolutely.
And one of the great times we had in Cape Town was Desmond Tutu came to see the show and gave it a big thumbs up and said this is continuing that process of truth and reconciliation. And it was also lovely to know that he's referred to as the Arch. That's his nickname, the Arch.
The Arch.
That kind of suits him, actually, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Was it very difficult, though, playing such a notorious man? I mean, he's serving, isn't it, 212 years in prison?
That's been written off. The 212 years have been written off. He's serving 2 life terms, but the news is that he has done enough time now to be seriously considered for parole, and a South African judge about 4 days ago issued a ruling that the minister responsible has to make a decision about de Kock's parole in the next month. You see,
that's what's so fascinating about this play, is that the play is going on as real life is still moving forward on the same subject.
And do you know we also met him in prison?
Really? And what was he like?
You see, look at your face. That's interesting.
I know.
Because this is the story we hear. I liked him. I liked it, and it's not taking away.
Giving him a hug.
Yes, is the bottom line, because actually I was sitting there, and I'm kind of going, where is the evil? Where is the badness? But this is a man who served a long time in prison, who's totally gone in to understand where he has been from and how he's going to let that out. He takes absolute responsibility.
And he's also actively helped locate missing persons over the whole of the last 20 years. He's one of the few people, apparently, who has been cooperating too.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, it's not just a play then about forgiveness, it's kind of a play about redemption, I guess. That's an important thing.
I mean, he's an extraordinary character. She's an extraordinary character because we are here talking to you because of those two people meeting in that moment, and because what apartheid South Africa was about. But it's an extraordinary place to be here, to be able to say the possibility of that man's parole coming up and freedom occurring. I don't know, but I don't know what it will do for people. But to tell this story, because it is, what is forgiveness? Exactly as you started, what is forgiveness? What is empathy?
You must have found it a fascinating part to play.
It's been joyous, because in the most beautiful way, I'm Pumla serving and questioning, and this story is revealing itself, and you've got to actually judge yourself as well. Going, right, if you did that, what's my point of view, because I'm black South African, this is how I've grown up, don't you judge me doing that. And it's a lovely, I want to say a dance fight kind of going on with what Nicholas Wright has written in this play.
There were people in South Africa who, at the time then Eugene de Kock was committing these atrocities on behalf of the state, who refused to be part of that process. But it's very difficult. It takes a huge amount of strength to say, no, I'm not going to, or I'm going to walk away from my country.
Oh, you can imagine.
Or whatever.
I mean, you mentioned the Cultural Revolution, you mentioned China, and people think, how do these things happen? How do so many good people do something? Because it's quite an important lesson to learn, isn't it? As I've said before, I think it's a really important play to watch.
It's such an honour to be doing it because of the reactions, and having done it in South Africa and the reactions between black and white. Oh my goodness, palpable emotions.
What sort of reactions have you had here?
Oh. They're quieter than South Africa.
Yeah.
South Africa, I think over here, there's probably political correctness has taken such a firm hold that anything with a racial overtone is met with stunned silence.
No, but we've also got to admit, it is a detachment as well, because it's not this country's story. Because there is something about watching another country's story, and you can observe and going, OK, that's not quite affecting me, but this is interesting.
I think it's slightly more robust in South Africa, that the black and white communities are...
It's present.
Can laugh at each other in a way that over here we think, oh no, this is terrible.
Yeah. And it is their story, and it was terrifying it felt like taking ice to the Eskimos, because it started here, and then we took it to South Africa. But what was gorgeous was people saying it couldn't have been done in South Africa, it's too hot, too raw. You needed to come from the outside and a slight detachment from us. But actually we've grown through that process. Having the opportunity to play in Cape Town at the Fugard.
We're now both honorary Saffers. We're both honorary Saffers now.
So lekker, yeah.
So just tell me, it's on in Hampstead, isn't it? It's the Hampstead Theatre, is that?
It's the Hampstead Downstairs Theatre, yes. It's very tiny, very...
Yeah, the microframe space is beautiful.
But that kind of works, though. For this subject, that smaller space does work,
It's so strange. We want so many people to see this play, but we can't do it in a big theatre because it just wouldn't work as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely going to go. When does it run until?
We've got 3 weeks.
June the 21st.
Yeah. Oh, God, I'm definitely going to buy a ticket.
Please do.
OK, I think we're going to be moving on now, but thank you so much for joining us. That's Noma Dumezweni and Matthew Marsh, and the play is A Human Being Died That Night. It's on at the Hampstead Theatre Downstairs.